Welcome back to Racing to Win. The Celebration Cup, the second of our features, sees the return of the superstar of Hong Kong racing in Beauty Generation. 8 starts last season for 8 victories. And of course, he's won the last 2 editions of the Celebration Cup. Last year, beating Ping Hai Star, the Derby winner. The Derby winner from last year returns Furore, as does Waikuku, who was runner-up. The Classic Mile winner from 2 years ago, Nothing I Like More, looks to be going better in the mornings. Winner's Way, Dr. Jeff, Dragon General is down the bottom. So let's have a look at the speed map. Is there any pressure to Beauty Generation in the early stages? Ka Ying Star, the likely runner to do that, maybe, Tom?
Well, he's got that 20 pounds less, doesn't he? So he just might, Beauty Generation, let him go, but he can either lead Beauty Generation or he can just take a sit behind Ka Ying Star if that does eventuate. Southern Legend, I think, potentially has got the opportunity to race handy here. Furore on the fence, Waikuku. Citron Spirit back there as Winner's Way as well. Dylan Moe riding him. Some of the best haven't been able to get him out of the gates in time, so Dylan Moe's got a job in front of him this time round.
All right, let's just talk a little bit more about the speed map there. If Ka Ying Star wants to push the issue, Paul, do you think that Zach will let him go if he really serves it up?
Yeah, I think he will. He won't want to be crazy. He won't want to sort of push the horse too much. I think he can sit back and then maybe try and take over if Ka Ying Star slows it down. So
yeah,
if Ka Ying Star really puts pressure on, I'm sure he won't. He'll just let him go.
And do you think Zach might be mindful then, Tom, that getting off the fence, you don't want to be locked in behind Ka Ying Star and have another horse come outside of you first up? Zach doesn't want to make this a sit and dash carrying all this weight, I wouldn't have thought.
No, we had Southern Legend mapped there into a forward position at about third, so if he's going to slide up and potentially sit to the outside of Beauty Generation's rump, keep him on the fence, he won't want that, Zach, so he'll use his initiative, no doubt, and to just move away from the fence.
All right, so that's potentially how it might unfold speed map-wise. How's the track work looking, Paul? How is the big boy?
Yeah, looking really good, as you can see here. Just working with a partner horse. He's just doing it effortlessly here, closest to us, and just comes away from him. So, look, he looks really well primed for his fresh up assignment, as you can see there. Southern Legend, he goes nicely enough here with the Snap Fit. Now, Snap Fit is not a bad horse himself, and Southern Legend just here with Alberta Santa aboard, just letting the horse on the inside here go nicely. That's him on the inside, Southern Fit. And then Waikuku with Nothing I Like More. I thought it was a nice piece from both these two as they come down. Both have got good fresh records as well. Waikuku has beaten the nose, and Nothing I Like More has had 2 wins fresh. So both have got good fresh records.
All right, let's take a look at some of the information for the race. And firstly, let's hear from Frankie Law regarding his runners.
Frankie, Furore steps out for the first time since the QE2 last season. How's he come back from the break?
He looks okay, and he trialled good last week, and the jockey is also happy.
Fitness-wise, for his first up run over 1,400 metres, where have you got him?
I still can say he's not the top form, but he looks good in the trial, and I'm happy. And then we got the lightweight.
You would have been happy with the way he was closing off that trial?
Yes, yes.
He's a horse that's taking on Beauty Generation, not easy. What are your sort of expectations for the race?
Because this is a handicap race, Group 3, so we got a lightweight to see how good. I mean, my horse. we face to that Beauty Generation. This is how good. Yeah.
Could you beat him?
I can't say, but try, because we don't know the horse improve, how improved he got it.
Is he a better horse, do you think, compared to last season?
Yes. He looks more better than last season, but need to race him to see how good he is.
He won the Classic Mile last season, he won the Derby. What sort of goals have you got for him this season, Frankie?
I think I will say, look, the international race, I still think about 16 or 2,000. After this race, I think I will have a decision.
Of course, Frankie Law with Furore, the Derby winner. And it'd be interesting to see how these horses coming out of the Derby and so forth, whether they actually ping first up, Tom?
Yeah, it certainly will be very interesting. We showed you that trial there for Furore. He dashed out of the ground late into a third placing. He really caught the eye. And I think Frankie going forward, if he looks at this race in 1,600 metres, we know Beauty Generation will be going to the Hong Kong Mile. I think it probably his best bet when it comes to international time will be the 2,000 metre race.
Yeah, and Waikuku trialled nicely too, Paul.
Yeah, it was a good trial from him there in second as well. And he's got that good fresh record. We saw him just beating the nose on debut. It was just a bob last season. So I think he can run well. He sort of lost his way a little bit towards the back end of last season, but what we've seen in that trial is he could be back to his...
Yeah, it was a very strong 4-year-old batch, there's no doubt, but they are taking on the unrivalled Beauty Generation. Let's have a look at his trial leading in. Now, we know that he is going a little bit in on the tubby side. He's the heaviest he's ever been first up. There he is, trialling. And it was all smooth.
It certainly was. Just going through the gears here, you've got his stable mate, Athero there, Singapore Sling as well, good standing there on the outside. Looking for his third race, third Celebration Cup in a row. 1,161 pounds. He last weighed in at 1,149. So he's a little bit up. He's 11 points higher than he was when he won this race last year. And interesting to note, only 3 horses carrying this big weight have been able to win this in the last 19 renewals.
He's an exceptional horse, isn't he? So I think he can do it.
I think John Moore made a valid point. We all get older, we all put on a little bit more. It's harder to get it off, there's no doubt. So that might not be too much of a hindrance. As I mentioned before, this time last year, he defeated Pinghai Star, who was an outstanding winner of the Derby himself. So it's going to be very hard to roll Hong Kong's best racehorse, that is for sure. Let's have a look at some more trials here. We're going to focus on a horse that's very interesting coming into this race, Southern Legend. We know he's matched up against the champ on many occasions, and he has had his measure, but he's a terrific horse in his own right.
He is. He's a really nice horse. We've seen the best of him overseas, actually. He's gone over to Singapore and won well. He has won over this distance before, over 1,400 metres. His fresh-up record isn't that good, though. That was just a little concern I had.
He seemed to be hitting the line well here in this recent barrier trial. That's his second trial. He'd had a trial on the all-weather at Sha Tin as well. He ran 9th in that trial. I just think he needs this first-up run. 1,400 metres, not his best. We've seen him to good effect over the 1,600
Beauty
metres.
Generation smashed him in the mile last year. Obviously, he ran third. Vivlos ran second at set weights, but the handicaps are in his favour here. As we move on to one of the other most interesting runners of the meeting for me, in Nothing I Like More. We know he was a classic mile winner 2 seasons ago. Things really dropped off for him last season, but he is all quality, and there's been signs there in his track work and his recent trials that perhaps the old Nothing I Like More might be back.
He ran 5th in this race last year, as you mentioned, Brett, classic mile winner of 2018. He's had at least 4 trials coming into this, and he's been able to win them all. And I've been quite taken with the way he's been able to win these trials in the morning as well. Matthew Chadwick's picked up a nice ride here. He dropped out last start when we saw him in the Chinese Club Cup there on New Year's Day. There was obviously an issue there. He's been away for a while, but he's been trialling really well. Yeah,
I think you know, all considered, you've just got to forget last season with him, Nothing I Like More, go on his capabilities, and I think with that, considering his recent trial efforts, Paul, he's probably one to find his way into the tips.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he goes, isn't he, with the lightweight as well. So Nothing I Like More. But, yeah, he didn't have a very good season last season. But, look, I've got Beauty Generation on top. It's very hard to tip against him. I thought Waikuku's trialled really nicely coming in this. Ferrore, the Derby winner, he's improved. Let's talking to Frankie Laura in the off-season. And Kaying Star, I thought, could be a little bit dangerous as well from the front or just in behind Beauty Generation. 1,745 I ended up with.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for them to beat Beauty Generation here. There's plenty of people saying he's got that big weight to carry this time round, but he carried this sort of weight last year. He's got to give a few of his oppositions at least 20 pounds here as a concession, but I think he's the one to beat. Waikuku's got terrific course and distance stats, 3 starts, 3 wins. I think he's going to be the one serving it up to Beauty Generation in the straight. Kaying Star to be handy, and Nothing I Like More. I just can't fault his trials, so 1,705 and 6.
Yes, the big guns are back in town, no doubt, headed by Beauty Generation, 10 after 4 for the Celebration Cup Hong Kong time, Tuesday afternoon. Should be a cracker. We'll take a break and come back with the final 3 races here on Racing to Win. Stay with us.